All right. My shared argument, it's going to be over my essay. Uh, it's the benefits of resistance training, which in a nutshell, resistance training is anything that provides a force against the body. That can be your standard stuff of what you see in a gym, dumbbells, barbells, weight machines, resistance bands, all that, kettlebells, to also just your body weight. Also, it can be stuff of nature, people moving trees, rocks, strongman competitions. So there's tons of benefits from resistance training. The ones I focus on the most in this essay are going to be how it aids in fat loss, how it promotes mental health, and also how it helps in the process of aging. Uh, some counter arguments for that. The two that I've seen personally, and the ones that I've seen a lot through the sources I gathered through the NSU library, is the biggest one for me was time restraints. People, not having enough time to resistance train. Another one would be just lack of information, are going strictly offline. Your influencers are just looking up workout plans, or trying to imitate what professionals are doing when they are not on that level. Just the lack of knowledge. And another big one is just the physical disability. That's a big one I've run into, which in that sense, as a personal trainer, from my point of view, I will always recommend them to someone else that has more knowledge, or physical therapist, someone that is high above my knowledge on that spectrum. So really starting out, a lot of my resources, they're from the NSU library, but also it's from real world experience. So first one would be resistance training for fat loss. Now a lot of people, I used to get that resistance training was only from like bodybuilders or certain type of people that would do it, but resistance training helps a lot and aids in fat loss, because it's the common saying, muscle burns fat. When you are building muscle, you're basically a fat burning machine at that point. Your metabolism is boosted up, your muscles are tearing, so when they're recovering, it's using a lot more energy, so you're always burning calories. When you resistance train, essentially you're breaking your muscles down. So that's when resistance training really helps, aiding in fat loss. Like I said, it helps with like post workout excess calorie burn is what it's called, EPOC. But it's basically in how we burn weight. Is not, a lot of people will jump on the scale, but actually your body fat percentage, you lose body fat through oxygen. So that's when EPOC, which is excessive post oxygen consumption, when you're breathing, that's gonna be how you're burning fat. It's not through, you'll lose your water weight through, going to the bathroom or, anything like that. But you're actually body fat percentages through your oxygen. So that's a big part of like how resistance training helps with fat loss. Second would be how it aids in mental health. Really, to keep it pretty simple with that, when you are exerting your body, your brain's going to produce a lot more, the happy chemicals. Your dopamine is going to be natural. You won't have to, a lot of people use their phones and everything. Working out is a great form of pushing out dopamine, having the feel good, chemicals come out. Oxytocin is another good one. You get that a little more through running, but any physical activity, it helps you manage like your serotonin levels, your relaxing chemicals, and eventually, you get to the point where working out is not, it's not strenuous. It's actually kind of like therapeutic to me. So that's a big way of how it helps with resistance training aids with mental health. A big part of it, and why I do it, is it helps in the aging process. I mean, as we age, we go through what's called sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle mass. I mean, it's inevitable, but if you're working out, especially if you do it for a better part of your life, you're going to slow the aging process. So it's also going to help a lot with injury prevention. You know, your heart health's going to be a lot better, and also your mobility is going to be way better when you're working out. So that's the benefits. Like I said, I've seen a lot more as far as like personal experience and what I've read on a lot more. So the counter arguments to that would be, the first one would be, well, lack of knowledge. I think people will they're Google friendly, and they will go off a certain person's workout and think that's going to happen to them, when there's so much more. You know, to be physically fit is way past, or overall wellness is way past just the physical activity. There's, you know, sleep schedule, hydration, nutrition, you know, the stresses of life. You know, there's so much that goes into it that, you know, you can get ideas from other people's workouts. But really, I think it's important to come to someone like, aka me, that's certified and can hear you out on past injuries, like what you've enjoyed, what you don't enjoy, and educate you. That's what I'm here for. Like I said, I've been a trainer since 2011, so I've educated all types of people. Yeah, my services are always with that. I love educating people. I love kind of like a Mythbuster mentality on working out and resistance training, because, you know, primarily with women, they associate lifting weights with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, bodybuilders, when really lifting weights is going to make them, you know, have just a better life. You're not just going to get muscle overnight, and it also depends on the numbers you're going through, you know, how much you're eating. There's tons of stuff that goes into it. So I actually take pride in educating people on resistance training. Another big part would be, you know, physical disability, which I don't have really an argument on that. I 100% am for that. If you physically can't resistance train, you know, I leave that to people that are beyond the spectrum of my mind, honestly. I don't argue that, but also, like, in a sense of like training, I don't get a lot of people that physically are incapable of doing anything. So I do think it's important to get more than one opinion on that, especially from like a physical therapist or someone that's their expertise is working with people with physical disabilities. But resistance training of any kind is going to benefit, you know, you're going to get some body benefits, but definitely mental benefits of it. And I think another big thing that I run into is the counter argument of time restraints, people not having enough time to work out, which you make time for what you deem necessary. I have gotten the best benefits off doing 30 to 45 minute workouts. I work out every day. Like I said, mine's more mental health, but if you could do 3 to 4 days a week, it's easy. You know, wake up a little earlier, go to bed a little earlier, you know. There's tons of ways to get around that, but until people, you know, sometimes we'll wait too late to work out and get those benefits, but I usually shut those time benefits down because I work 70 hours a week and I always make time for it. It's something that is going to help your longevity and your quality of life extremely heighten in every sense, you know, mental, physical, everything about when you work out, your life will be better. So there's really not too many cons unless you're doing the completely wrong thing or working out, you know, in an asinine way. But I do thank you for listening to my argument, and I hope you have a good day.